Here you have the SCL1, which is an all-discrete compressor. This is known to be really the world's only artifact-free compressor. The design is very unique. It will give you a quick release on staccato notes and a long release on legato notes automatically. Also, we've designed a rectifier circuit which causes the unit to release only to the constantly changing RMS average. This virtually eliminates pumping, gasping, overcompensation, and rush up. A compressor, the most important thing in music when you're using a compressor is what the compressor does between the beats. It's very important what the unit does when there's a rest in the music. If the unit is constantly lurching back to zero, then you're forced to slow the release time down in order to attenuate the artifacts, the sounds of pumping and gasping. This unit does not have those problems because it will only release to the constantly changing RMS average. It also doesn't need a high-pass filter. We see today a lot of compressors have high-pass filter switches which are meant to take the bass drum and bass guitar out of the bus compressor so that those instruments with a lot of energy don't make it sound like there's a ducker on the vocal. This is only a band-aid fix, and it's caused by overcompensation and pumping and gasping. We also do away with the need for side chains and EQ inputs and all of that sort of thing. What you have here is a full bandwidth compressor that has no evidence of any kind of pumping, gasping, distortion, high-end roll-off, collapse of stereo image, all of the things that normal compressors do. This compressor will not act that way and will never destroy your waveform or take away from the rhythmic content of the music. It has some special features. It has a constantly variable knee control right here. The static threshold allows the engineer to adjust the control voltage bias in a way that you can raise and lower the knee of compression, giving yourself a hard or soft knee. This is oftentimes better than a hard knee, soft knee switch, which sometimes one setting is too much in either direction, so it forces you to change other parameters of adjustment that you might not want to change. The unit is capable of 100 microsecond attack times when the attack control is set at 0. The detector is a fast FET transistor, and of course you can override that by turning it to the slow side. You can go all the way up to a 2 millisecond attack. The release goes from 2 milliseconds to 2 seconds, and as I explained before, if we leave the release time on 10, which 2 milliseconds, it will give you automatically a fast release on staccato notes and a long release on legato notes. Here you have the slope or ratio control, and then you have the output controls and input controls for both channels. The unit can be used in tracking in dual mode. In dual mode, we have 2 independent channels, and we give you a meter status switch so that you can look at the gain reduction on the individual instruments. In stereo, you can meter either channel, and the connection to the detector on channel 2 is broken. So these 5 controls control the entire unit when you're in stereo. However, the input and output controls always remain independent and constantly variable, so the engineer can balance the mix when he's presented with a bad mix where maybe the bass isn't centered or the vocals are not centered. So you can correct that by trimming your input and output controls. Of course, the unit is fitted with a true bypass, which shorts the input signal directly to the output jacks. So if you bypass this unit, the signal never travels onto the audio cards. And I guess that's about it.